Chapter 21 Geto's Exam. Gojo gently laid Geto on his back and straightened out his arms and legs. He repositioned his head. Geto was in a deep, medicated sleep. Gojo didn't pull the bedsheets over him. As he prepared Geto's body, he could hear Shoko speaking to some people outside. Then the hallway was quiet again. Gojo placed a hand over Geto's for a moment and went to get Shoko. Shoko entered the room and stood over Geto's sleeping form. "Watch the door," she instructed Gojo. She tucked a lock of hair behind her ear, then scanned her patient with her eyes, from his sock-covered toes all the way up to his forehead. She held her hands a few inches over Geto's feet, then turned to Gojo. "Ready?" she asked. Gojo nodded. "Just remember, I can heal any physical wounds, but psychological trauma is out of my hands." Her hands gave off a faint shimmer of reversed cursed energy. Shoko worked her way from Geto's feet to his calves, thighs, and when she reached his torso, her hands glowed a little brighter. She placed her hands on Geto's stomach and left them there until the glow of her hands dimmed. She continued up his body and stopped at his neck. Her hands glowed bright again as she held her palms to Geto's throat. She also had to press her hands to his eyes. As she went over his eyebrows and finished at the top of his head, the glow in her hands didn't fluctuate again. Shoko let her arms fall to her side. "That's it?" Gojo asked. He was in a trance watching Shoko work and wanted to hear if she found anything during the exam. "He had an ulcer, raw tissue in his throat, broken blood vessels in his eyes. I fixed it all. But he's still going to have memory of the pain." "And his head?" Gojo wanted to know. "Gojo, his brain isn't damaged. The problem isn't in the tissue. It's in his mind," Shoko answered. "I don't think Unlimited Void left a lasting physical effect. If he remembers how he felt when it was used on him, I can't fix that." The two friends stood in silence and looked at Geto. His breathing sounded less labored, and his eyes were no longer swollen from crying. Shoko straightened out the thin hospital sheets and tucked Geto in up to his chest and adjusted his pillow. "I'm going to stay with him." Gojo meant he was going to stay with Geto through the night, but he also meant it in a different way. "Do you think that's a good idea?" Shoko wondered. She didn't wait for Gojo to respond. "You've pissed everyone off anyway, you might as well." "Exactly." "I'll drop off some food and stuff later." Shoko turned to leave. "Thanks, Shoko." Shoko waved. Gojo shut the door after her and pulled up a chair to Geto's bed. He was emotionally exhausted. Geto might be asleep for a long time. Gojo looked at Geto once more, then let himself drift off to sleep.